just booked it to the bus station, like running through Palma to get here because I was gonna get on the bus and go to Valldemossa today. However, after I was waiting in line, I was at the back of the line for the bus, got there, bus was full. So now there's another bus for like 2 hours, and I'm not gonna waste 2 hours of my day waiting for another bus to go to Valldemossa. So in like 30 minutes, there's a bus to another place called Bufar, and that is where I'm going. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I am in Valldemossa. It is a town in the Tramuntana mountains here in Majorca. It has a population of about 2,000 people. We're surrounded by the most incredible mountain landscape. I've never actually come and, you know, checked out the town or done any sort of adventuring around here, so I'm pretty excited to see what it has to offer. But just gonna, yeah, go for a little walk and see what's going on. This is one of the most beautiful properties I think I've ever walked on. It is pretty amazing just how they have the bushes cut on either side of the path, and it's almost like little maze walkways. The birds are chirping. Yeah, it's totally serene in here. Nobody else, nobody else, So here in Valldemossa, every house has one of these painted bricks on it, and it's actually representing the life of Saint Catalina Thomas. She was the only Majorcan saint, and she was born here in Valldemossa, so every house has one of these bricks and it depicts a scene from her life. And they're all actually really beautiful. Everyone is different, and it's just, yeah, it's super interesting. She was born here in 1531. Yeah, the only Majorcan saint. Very cool. I really love how all the doors to the houses are so neatly decorated with the plants and the flowers, and the ones with the arches are just absolutely beautiful. I love the history here. The thing about all these beautiful plants and flowers around here is that they bring up the vibe, because plants are known to bring up the energy, and you know, they just make things feel alive. So it definitely brings the town a little more to life when you're walking through all the streets with the beautiful plants and flowers. Even though there are a lot of people out and about in the town, there's such a relaxed feeling here. As I'm walking around, I'm just totally at peace and totally relaxed. It's actually quite nice. I had to stop and get a potato cake because this potato cake is typical for here in Valldemossa. So it's like a Valldemossa potato cake, and it's actually made with potatoes, and they started making it in 1920. So it definitely has some history here. And you break bread in Valldemossa, you break potato cake. It's very fluffy, coated with like powdered sugar. Yeah, it's tasty. You wouldn't even know that there's potatoes in this cake. I managed to eat that whole potato cake and do very little damage to myself because powdered sugar. I forgot how messy powdered sugar is. It pretty much gets everywhere. Also, pretty much every cafe and restaurant in the area has potato cake. I'm looking at the windows as I'm sitting here, I'm like, they all have potato cake. It is very typical here. You will not have a hard time finding cocas de patata or potato cake when you're here in Valldemossa. All of these bags at the store are made of cork. They're so cool. One of Valdemossa's claims to fame is that back in the 1800s, the famous Polish composer Chopin, also the famous French writer George Sand, spent some time here. Both used Valldemossa and the beautiful area to gain inspiration. Now I'm just at the entrance to the museum, and inside the museum you actually get to see the room where he used to live and spend time composing. So I'm kind of excited to see it. I love seeing historical things. pianos in here, and it's just, it's so interesting to see, and the view here is spectacular. Right at the museum where I just was, there's also a monastery right beside it, and you can also go in and take tours of it. However, everything was closing because it closes at 4:30 in the afternoon. Something to note, so I only had 15 minutes to run in and check out Chopin's old room and check that out. However, I couldn't make it into the monastery. That is a very important landmark here in Valldemossa as well. Dates back to the 14th century, and it's supposed to be pretty amazing inside. I'm looking at these mountains in the area, and I'm thinking coming to Valldemossa for a weekend of hiking and getting out in nature is a must. I'm finishing off my day of adventures, having a glass of wine on this beautiful terrace and just taking in the stunning scenery. It is a feast for the eyes and a treat for the soul, for sure. There's one thing that you will always have when you're in Majorca, and exploring the villages in the mountains in particular will be unforgettable scenery. So I just figured this was the best way to finish off this day. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you soon.